And this morning, Vasudha, the Prime Minister greeting all the world leaders with that stunning backdrop of the Konark Temple Wheel there. And, you know, he took a moment to actually talk to President Joe Biden. What do you think he was telling him?
Yes, Gargi, so that's what I was thinking, that in some ways, because this is such a conflict-ridden place, and, Ukraine-Russia conflict is also an important aspect of India's G20 presidency on the kind of language that will be formulated. And this is actually a tense time for India to basically show its diplomacy and also its tact. So it will be interesting to see what India does. And this most imposing image that India had to welcome its delegates was a replica of the Konark Wheel, the Sun Temple Wheel. Now remember, the Konark Wheel is a representation of the sun god's chariot, and it's important here because it also represents the Kal Chakra, which is a unique philosophy, in Hinduism, and it represents the significance of death, life, and of course Kal and time. And in some ways, very philosophically talking, it shows the finity of life and the limitations that exist between life and death, and how life is short. So in some ways, it was also trying to talk about the absolute truth in life and trying to give out a very philosophical message. But also remember, this is also furthering the agenda that India has to promote its cultural richness and diversity, not just in Bharat Mandapam, but also as part of its larger G20 presidency. Bharat Mandapam itself has been inspired by Lord Basveshwara's Anubhav Mandapam, which is basically freedom of expression. Every room here is sort of named after either a river or a mountain. So there is a lot of cultural richness to this venue of G20.
Absolutely.
Which is very clear. In some ways, yes.
Right, and outside the massive Nataraj statue as well. It's absolutely stunning. And well, thank you so much, Vasudha, for joining us.